If you don't mind, let's take a moment for the sponsors so they can keep the lights running and keep West Virginia and Commonplace going. 1998, Stamps.com has been an indispensable tool for nearly 1 million businesses. Stamps.com brings the service of the United States Postal Service and the UPS shipping right to your computer. Whether you're in an office sending invoices, a side hustle Etsy shop, or a full blown warehouse shipping out orders, Stamps.com will make your life easy. All you need is a computer and a standard printer, supplies or equipment. Within minutes, you're up and running, printing official postage for any letter, any package, anywhere you want to send. And you'll get exclusive discounts on postage and shipping from USPS and UPS. Once your mail is ready, just schedule a pickup or drop it off. No traffic, no lines. Cut the confusion out of shipping with Stamps.com's new rate advisory tool. You can compare shipping rates and timelines to easily find the best option. Save time and money with Stamps.com. There's no risk, and with my promo code POD, you get a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus free postage and digital scale. No long term commitments or contracts. Just go to Stamps.com, click on the microphone at the top of the homepage, and type in POD. That's Stamps.com, promo code POD. Stamps.com. Never go to the post office again. Welcome to West Virginia and Commonplace. There is something that's on my mind. It's something that happens to me Monday, like around 8:45 at night, and it goes with me all through my Tuesday. The thing is what time am I gonna get to Applebee's on Tuesday? Doesn't matter what city we're in, where or what town we're in. Every municipal should have an Applebee's. If they don't have an Applebee's, we might substitute it for maybe a Red Robin or something. But Applebee Tuesdays is a tradition that follows us with our normal couple relationship, our work relationships, and and our triad with Irish Steve or whatever you want to call Steve. So we go to Applebee's, and it's something that started before Stacy and Steve. Applebee's was a tradition that, like when I was a kid, Applebee's was the place we went. And Applebee's didn't mean that you had any money. It didn't mean that it didn't have any type of, I don't know what's the best word to use. You didn't have to be rich to go to Applebee's because we're eating on a discount when we go.
Right.
But you're going to have a good time. And sometimes when you go, you're going to have a drink. Sometimes you're not. But when you go to Applebee's, Applebee's is special for this one thing. Because if you get there between 5 and whatever time, or you get there between 9 and another time, you're getting good appetizers. And the thing is sometimes you don't need all the heavy foods because we could sit there and talk about eating this or that, but no, that's not the case. The
Right.
case here is I've got Stacy along with me again, my beautiful co-host, if you didn't notice, um, with me on here. She'll tell you a little bit about this tradition. We started this heavy tradition with me and her. Actually, it was our first date.
Yes.
And and I always like to name drop places. So excuse me, everyone. We're talking about the great state of West Virginia. When I say the city of Vienna, which is outside of Parkersburg, there is a Applebee's, and this Applebee's, straight across from it, there's a Walmart. So we sat in the parking lot. I don't want to say every bit of an hour,
Yep.
and we were over here. We were debating on where we were going to go eat, and we didn't pay attention to Applebee's. But anyway, we slid over to Applebee's, go in there. A lot of indecision. This whole date should have been named Indecision if it was going to be a movie. Indecision, but we don't know what we're doing. We're just hungry. We want something to eat. So we went in. Instead of ordering the normal blah, 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 we ordered the appetizers.
Yes.
They weren't on discount at the time, but common love, common knowledge that we didn't know about each other at the time was this: spinach artichoke dip can settle anybody's mood because you can drop a chip in there or drop a piece of celery or pita or something, and you will be amazed.
Right. And not everybody can make it. Like we've been to a few restaurants where, it's like, oh, yeah, that's not very good. But Applebee's is usually always very good.
And then next thing that they make that's amazing, um, it's a oh my god, I don't know why it's slipping my mind. It's the little what's the thing we get the
The
wonton?
chicken wontons.
Yeah,
Um,
the
what are
chicken
they? They're
wonton.
kind of like a coleslaw teriyaki sauce and chicken, something along that lines. Those are amazing.
Yeah, and you can never go wrong with those. And then the other thing we get is the garlic.
That's new.
That's
Yeah.
new. We just added the garlic.
Yeah. So basically, anytime we go to Applebee's, we have four things we're always getting. It is the spinach artichoke dip, the wontons, the now we do the garlic parmesan boneless wings, and then we also do the pretzels. But and this is what got me over the whole COVID pandemic thing. At one point, Applebee's wasn't doing the queso cheese; they were only doing that beer cheese. I don't like beer cheese.
That's just me.
It smells bad to me. I'm not gonna put you down just because you like it, but to me, I don't like it. So we had to change a few things up there at one point, but I highly recommend trying the pretzels with queso cheese.
Right, you can get them to put it with white salt on it, or you can just take the pretzel because it's one of the
Yep.
Bavarian deals. You can just smack it on the plate, like, bam, 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 bam. And the salt will fall right off of it for anybody that has to be blood pressure conscious like myself.
Right. First
And
thing I do when we get the pretzels, wipe the salt off.
yeah, and you still get a great experience with that queso.
Yep.
Now, inside this on these Tuesdays, heavily through 2020. I will say this: when there was a time that you could get into Applebee's, or even when you couldn't get in,
Right.
Stacy and I, and if Steve was around, we would all make it to Applebee's.
Right.
And I'm talking about this is like state by state, city by city. Like we could be in Ohio,
Mm-hmm.
and in a place like Columbus, Ohio, which I'm giving a shout out to because I love Columbus. Man, there's probably 15 Applebee's. I might be
Right.
exaggerating, but it probably is. It looks like there's an Applebee's is treated like a Walmart or like a 7-Eleven. It's on every corner out there. So we've pretty much been to all of them. And I will say this though: the only weird experience that I had, we actually went to one in Boston.
Yeah.
One in Boston wasn't too bad. The only thing that I've ever noticed that really just knocks me off about these places is it's like the spinach artichoke dip for every 4 places I go eat. It's already been pre-made and it's been heated up and wrapped up, and they just regurgitate it like they just heat it up, keep going, heat it up, keep going.
Right.
Now, the mystique of going to these places are there's categories of people that go here. And these categories of people, like I'm not trying to be funny or be rude. This is all for comic relief. So if anyone gets offended, this is the time to step away from the podcast and make a hard decision on if you want to keep listening after I go through this spiel or this little joke here.
Right. Because it's not meant to be any negativity towards specific people.
It's just the certain people that come into Applebee's.
And if you get offended, it's probably about you.
Yes. And once again, I do want to say that if this next bit of information I put out here offends you, please take your headphones off, turn it off your speaker, tell Alexa to skip one, or go back to an old previous episode. So you go inside Applebee's and you have your standard issued people. And when I say standard issue, that's a joke that I use about everything. There's a standard issued person for everything in life. You go to Walmart, you go to the checkout, there's a standard issue person that's going to be working right there, not helping you when you need help. There's a standard issue person at McDonald's that's not fixing the ice cream machine that broke it at 2:45, so at 4 o'clock you can't get ice cream. Those people are standard issued, and they're in every state, every city, every town, every nook and cranny. So here we go. You go inside Applebee's. You go to the bar. There's Larry, Moe, and Carly at the bar. Hometown legends. They haven't moved out of home. 30 years ago, they had great stories about playing football and doing this or that. Then, over in the corner, a lady that probably used to smoke in Applebee's. A lady that has been in Applebee's so long that she is in the Applebee's Hall of Fame. We call her a legacy. and she has every opinion about everything, and she has an issue with the service, and she just doesn't like anything. She will sit here and she will complain all because she wants to get that Applebee's meal for free. Then you'll look around and you have your normal people that come in because Applebee's are friendly places for people to come into that live in these areas. So you'll always hear different things going on around you. But back to this legacy. This legacy will order drinks. Her friends that are coming will be late. They won't be there for the appetizers or anything like that. They're just there to have a hard argument about life. But every Applebee's has a legacy. And then we go on to the waiters. That waiters, you know, if you don't mind, let's take a moment for the sponsors so they can keep the lights running and keep West Virginia commonplace going. 1998, Stamps.com has been an indispensable tool for nearly 1 million businesses. Stamps.com brings the service of the United States Postal Service and the UPS shipping right to your computer. Whether you're in an office sending invoices, a side hustle Etsy shop, or a full-blown warehouse shipping out orders, Stamps.com will make your life easy. All you need is a computer and a standard printer, supplies, or equipment. Within minutes, you're up and running, printing official postage for any letter, any package, anywhere you want to send. And you'll get exclusive discounts on postage and shipping from USPS and UPS. Once your mail is ready, just schedule a pickup or drop it off. No traffic, no lines. Cut the confusion out of shipping with Stamps.com's new rate advisory tool. You can compare shipping rates and timelines to easily find the best option. Save time and money with Stamps.com. There's no risk, and with my promo code POD, you get a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus free postage and digital scale. No long-term commitments or contracts. Just go to Stamps.com, click on the microphone at the top of the homepage, and type in POD. That's Stamps.com, promo code POD, Stamps.com. Never go to the post office again. Waiter, waitress, whatever you want to call yourself, or a bartender is the hardest thing on earth.
Right.
And through this pandemic, one thing that I've noticed, in the metropolis area of Cleveland, Ohio, and this dates back to, I want to say May of this year. I'm talking about May of 2021. Well, we went to an Applebee's. We went to 3 different Applebee's trying to get food. There was 3-hour waits. We went to a city called Mentor, Ohio. We went to random other little townships that are inside of Cleveland. And to no avail could you get into a restaurant without a 3-hour wait.
Right. And this is no negativity towards the company or even that location that we were at.
Correct. Now, we get in here and the bartender has to take everyone's order.
Yep.
He literally had to work the bar and then work the outlying tables, which they didn't have that many open because obviously,
right.
Whatever. So we get in here and we get our food or get our drinks first. Normal soda. I'm drinking my Coke Zero or whatever I'm drinking. Stacy's drinking
water or Dr. Pepper.
Or Dr. Pepper. And Steve's drinking an Irish car bomb or whatever he's doing because he's doing random stuff. And if you do
something off the tap.
Yeah, if you do want to see those videos, they are posted all over the Instagram story and other things like that. Shout out Steve. So we get our drinks. Our drinks take 5 minutes to get. And I'm one of those people, if I spend $3, $4 for a drink, I'm going to drink a 2 liters worth of soda before I leave. And once again, we order simple. We were just looking for the appetizers.
I think we got, actually that time I think we did Bourbon Street steak.
The Bourbon Street steak.
Yep.
With or without the shrimp, don't matter.
Right. Without for me.
Yeah, without for you. And we just like had butter on top, the little sizzles.
Because I think there was a time that they weren't doing a whole lot of half-price appetizers during the pandemic. So we did get hooked on the Bourbon Street steak and chicken. And I think at one point they had asparagus.
Yeah, asparagus.
So I think that was the role we were taking.
And the bartender is doing a good job. He takes our order, and it takes forever. But we were bound. It's a Tuesday. We've got to get that Applebee's, and that's why we're doing this Applebee's Tuesday show to tell you something about Applebee's. And you guys, if you're looking to sponsor us, Applebee's, you know the number. You know how about it. Our order takes 30 to 40 minutes to get to us.
Right.
When our order gets to us, it's cold. There's only 15, 16 people in this place. And most of them aren't even buying food. They're drinking that, whatever that drink is with the little gummy shark inside of it. At that time, I think it was. It may not have been that gummy shark, but that's just a drink I can think of. They always put some kind of
Their specialty drink of the month, yeah.
Drink. It has a gummy in it. So anyway, we get our food, and you don't complain or anything because we have to have Applebee's Tuesday underneath. Under our belts, and whenever we have Steve with us, Steve is a half a connoisseur. He will eat his food. He will get more than his eyes can see.
Right.
So if Steve's eager and he's not getting antsy, we're not going to get antsy. So we're sitting here while we eat our food. And then the worst part of this thing was we're waiting on our check. Our check took a whole, and I don't want to exaggerate, I want to say 45 minutes to an hour. It was fairly long. So that experience there kind of jarred me with Applebee's for a little bit.
And like I said, it's not anything negative about that location, and it's nothing negative about the waiters and waitresses that were helping us out. The main thing that we noticed in that area that we were at, it was a lack of employees. Like, this was whenever everybody was still getting all of the pandemic money, the relief money, all that extra unemployment benefits and stuff like that. And the different Applebee's even said people just don't want to work. They want to sit at home and they want to collect the check. So, we were very understanding. So we never got frustrated or anything like that with any of them because we knew what was going on. We've all worked in the service industry before this happened. So we know how frustrating it gets when you deal with rude people. It's not even worth it.
So the crazy thing is that over time, that Applebee's Tuesday started fading away a little bit,
right?
And it's come to a Applebee's sometimes,
right?
And it's not even because of lack of service, but going back to that area of Cleveland, I hope to God that the area of Cleveland did get back into hospitality because it was a crazy stretch from Cleveland all the way to
right. A lot of the Cleveland area didn't have employees. It wasn't just Applebee's. It was any restaurant you went into.
And I'll tell you that same week, I made a crazy run from Cleveland to Columbus to Cincinnati and back.
Right.
And those are the three hubs. I mean, no offense to Toledo and everywhere else, but out of the three places, I could even see a difference because I ate fast food at McDonald's, and I wasn't told that I couldn't go in there. But anyway, getting back to the lore of Applebee's. Applebee's is very subtle. I took Stacy in there in a town called Summersville, West Virginia. We went in there and we ate. And in Applebee's, the emphasis is, you can actually, it's intimate. That's the one thing I will say about it. You can go to fancy restaurants, whatever, but it's intimate. Like when you're there, I could look over straight at her and she could see me and we can put the cell phones down. We're not playing Pokemon or we're not playing the latest Diner Dash game with SpongeBob on top, and you can actually talk. You can still communicate. It's one of the places I will say.
Right. It was kind of like they don't ever play the music like the one restaurant we went to today. You couldn't even hear ourselves talk, let alone have a conversation with anybody.
And the cool thing is that we have minor things that draw us away from the conversation. You'll have sports on, but you never hear volume.
Right.
The only rowdiness that ever comes on is if you slide in there on a Friday or Saturday night outside of these Tuesdays.
Right.
Something will happen there.
Major sports nights.
And major sports nights. And it's just the allure of that. You can go, I can replicate this date in any city, anywhere.
Right. It's pretty, kind of like you said, it's pretty stable in any area. That the food is always going to be very similar in taste. And I like that. Like we could go to Florida like I did earlier in the summer. And I'm not a seafood person, but I know if they have an Applebee's, I'm going to find something I like.
Right. So it's almost like it's the adult McDonald's.
Yeah.
and that's one thing that I always encourage people because we'll say, if we come here.
Hi, I'm Jay Christian, host of The Cognac Room. The Cognac Room is a weekly, uninhibited, drink-infused podcast about adulting and male and female interactions. We discuss everything from money, sex, breakups. You name it, we're getting into it. I have two lovely co-hosts who join me over a nice glass of cognac, and we have a ball. We laugh and we talk trash. So, pull up a chair, pour up a glass, and let's discuss. You can find us on all streaming platforms.
City, and we are doing this on the road podcast tour. You know, we don't mind a third wheel. Third wheels, and we actually encourage a third wheel, not four, because that would be awkward. We never get to the fourth person. We always have the third person, so we can conversate. And as long as you have some kind of comedic relief to you, you're always welcome to eat with us. Right. So, I want to thank you, Stacey, for coming on with me. And this is one of those deals where this was an episode that was advertised. And everything we do, we kind of think it out. But Applebee's Tuesday, this is a little bit more intimate. It's more insight to us. One thing I do want to ask you, because I never did get to put you on the spotlight. What was your impression of going to Applebee's with me?
Which time? The first one? Anytime. The last time? I mean,
anytime. Tell me what it's like to go with me on a date to Applebee's, or just go to eat.
I mean, honestly, it's just the two of us, so it's easier to go out to eat than it is to cook a dinner and waste the food, because not only do you have leftovers, you have to clean up the mess and everything. So, you're never quiet. So there's never a dull moment. Sometimes it's just like, oh my gosh. But yeah, you're a joy.
I think you are too. And the one thing I always say, and I always say this about me, folklore. If we go to a certain one that we've got history in, like if we ever go back to Summersville, I'll have a story about Summersville.
Right.
In the Charleston area, we've done Canal City and Southridge.
We even did Taze Valley once.
Taze Valley, yeah. So we really do go to Applebee's. We don't care where it's at. We're not discriminatory on that. So the one thing I would like to say to the audience and to the Legion, which are the other listeners that listen hardcore, is this real simple thing. Applebee Tuesdays should become a product of yours also.
Right.
It's a great habit.
Plus, it doesn't break the bank. Yeah. Like I said, we can go in there and order one half-price appetizers. We'll get those 4 appetizers. And even if both of us order a soda, pop, Coke, whatever you want to call it, whatever beverage you're drinking, as long as it is non-alcoholic, and it's less than $30.
And that's the amazing thing about it. It's cheap. It's the same setting you can make over and over, and it's great. Now, once again, audience, I want to thank you guys for listening to West Virginia Commonplace. Also, note that this will be another one of our episodes that is a premium episode, and I'm glad that you guys are listening to this episode. We are getting in this mode, and we are getting the product out there. I want to thank everybody from Virginia to California to Texas, all the way up to Montana that listen. Greatly appreciate it. And once again, Stacey, thank you for coming in and filling in the voids that I didn't have on here.